let's do a little public service announcement here. Let me help you in any dealings with any company. And this should go for everybody in the world and anybody as a customer who is doing any business with anybody, no matter what the business is. When you send an email, if you already have some kind of email chain, hit reply if it pertains to that. Because how I answer you a lot of times is going to be based on what we have already told you. When you place an order and you pay for it, every single time ever in the entire eternity of the internet, I have gotten an email back. Even in the early days, I had a confirmation email. We didn't used to have an interactive website, I don't know, maybe 8 years back. You would send me an email, you would order off my website and it would send me an email. There was no way to pay us. And I would copy paste the things you wanted and then manually add it up with a calculator and then add on the 4% PayPal fees and send it to you, and you would then have to pay me and send me money, and then we would merge that bullshit up, right? But even back then, you got an email that said, hey, these are the items you ordered, even before you ever paid for them. Anytime you're dealing with a company and you just have a question or whatever it is, hit reply to that. Your initial email ever to my company here, if it's about an order, find the confirmation email, hit reply, and start typing. That gives me all of the information in one place. I can see what it is you want, and I can scroll down and see what your order is. It is mind-numbing the amount of emails that come in. So I have to assume it happens in every business. You place an order, you order some shit, you don't tell me what it is, you don't tell me how you paid, and you want to know about your order. So the first thing I do is I take your email address, because that's the most unique thing in this generic contact that you've now sent me. Because if I put in Joe Schmo, I got 400 Joe Schmoes in my system. I don't know which one you are. And you didn't bother to give me an address, so I can't look you up by address. Hey, I placed this order for this thing. I don't remember what it was. I'm not even sure what the date was. I don't know how much it was, but how come I don't have it yet? So I take your email address and I put it in my order system. Would you be surprised to know that I'll bet upwards 30-40% of the time you don't come up in my system? So you're now inquiring about an order, when had you just hit reply, I could scroll right down and see that order number. That's the most unique thing there is, and I can just plug that right in, right? And when you do that, there's actually a hyperlink in there. I can click it. It takes me right to the order system from the email. That is the same order system that you yourself can log into and see whatever you're asking me. You'll know what you ordered, when you paid, how'd you paid for it, and most importantly, you will see, oh my God, the status. You know what your statuses are? Your status is shipped or unshipped. That's the status. When's this coming? You want the truth, or you want me to give you a bunch of words that make you feel better? You want a little pat on the butt, maybe a little hug? The truth is, I don't know. There's 10,000 orders out here in motion on any given day, and I got 12 dudes working these orders. So when you click reply, all that data is right there. Would you be surprised to know that when I look you up from your email address you just emailed me from, for some fucking unknown reason, you motherfuckers have multiple email addresses? Why the fuck do you do that? And if you're fucking so sketchy and you're hiding from your wife, or you're trying to hide from work or whatever, why don't you fucking use the same address? Because then we wouldn't have to have this video and we wouldn't have to have these conversations. Here's an example. A dude just hit me up, emailed me, and said, do you have a black visor cover and do you have needles? And I'm like, needles? What the fuck's he? Oh, tension pneumothorax needles, 14 gauge needles, duh. But I hear needles. I'm like, no, we don't have. I'm thinking sewing machine needles. So I know we're super low on them, right? So my answer is no, we don't have them. because I want to retain some, because inevitably we'll have an order here or there, or somebody will walk in the door. He's like, okay, well, I'll wait for the black visor. I'm like, no, I don't have black visors. I have black with red line, and I have Typhon, and 90% of that Typhon visor is covered in black elastic and Velcro. Obviously, you have sent me an email to ask if I have these things, and you have now, I have advised you. Well, this dude replies, he's like, okay, I'll wait for the black visor. I'm like, why is he asking about this if he could just order the black visor? So what do I have now? I have an order from him for the needle, for the pneumothorax needles, and a black visor. Had you just replied to the email, I would have seen you've already ordered them. And of course, if you ordered it, yes, we have them, they're going to ship, but now your needles aren't going to ship because you ordered a black visor. When the initial contact would have alleviated all of it had you just replied to that confirmation email, or told me when you're inquiring if we have these things, hey, I've already placed an order. Because you might get a different answer. I might be able to juggle some things or make some shit happen. But the whole goal of you as a customer should make the interaction as short and concise as possible. It's a two-way road, right? So any dealings you have, and I know I have stuff in limbo. Cody has stuff in limbo. Amanda has stuff in limbo. And it's worse with Christmas right now. We weren't buying, $100 here, $100. I had like $5,000 worth of poultry stuff we bought that I was told would ship this week. It took over 90 days to get here. We bought stuff for the greenhouse, thousands of dollars worth of hard plastic for the greenhouse. We were told it would ship this week. They didn't ship that shit for 14 weeks. I get it, guys. I get it. I don't know why you're surprised that things are askew right now, and even worse than normal holidays with all the control of virus, the COVID bullshit, right? We didn't shut down. We don't have any sick people. Everything's just fucking good in the hood and normal in all the non-democratic states. Did you know that? Fucking the world's going on. There's like two different parts of the United States, the functioning and the non-functioning. All you guys letting them lock you down, that's only because you didn't stand up and say, we're not going to fucking be locked down. Anyways, your job as a customer, if you want good customer service from anyone, this is not about my company. This is about anybody you do business with. Give them as much information as possible up front with as few words as possible, as few of your words. They don't need to know about your secret mission or your whatever it is you're doing, or they don't need to know any of that shit. They need to be able to scroll down and see what you ordered and then what you want. Hey, is there any way I could get this a little bit faster? I'm hoping to have this for Christmas. You'd make my wife very happy, or you'd make my son very happy. Whatever, right? As few words as possible. You don't need to reiterate it. You don't need to say it 12 ways. When you send an email here that's more than 3 bullet points, even if I intend to answer that email, it gets set for later. You know when later is? Later never comes.